na ako makapagpapalala.
Mga pinunod kalipunan, tanga. Pinunod kalipunan, baba, tak, padala, kalis. Babo! Tak! Pahala pa nung handa na po ang tandod pandangalo pang libutin.
Ladies and gentlemen, trooping the line before you is our honoree, His Excellency Ferdinand Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines. He is accompanied by the military host, Vice Admiral Toribio D. Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy, Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, and the Troop Commander, Captain Franklin B. Rotoni, Philippine Navy General Staff Corps. His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is the 17th President of the Republic of the Philippines. He is born on September 13, 1957 in Batac, Ilocos Norte. He is the only son of former President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. and Imelda Romualdez Marcos. He is married to Miss Luisa Araneta, with whom he has 3 sons. Our honoree has over 2 decades of public service. He vows to be a leader for every Filipino and stands steadfast behind his vision of uniting the nation and delivering a brighter future for the people. His long and faithful service has been one characterized by his genuine care for the welfare of his constituents and a firm determination to elevate the quality of life of every Filipino. Once again, our honoree, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines. Let us give him a warm round of applause.
Kalipunan, tanga, tak, aba, tak, dadala, kalis. Babo! Tak! Ano, tapos na po ang parangal. Opo, Ginoo. Mga kasamang mandargat at mandirigma, pinapabot ng ating panauhing pandangal ang kanyang kagalingan, Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas, ang kanyang taus-pusong pasasalamat sa parangal na ginawad natin sa kanya sa umagang ito. Opo, kalis.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. The President will now view the static display of various Philippine Navy assets. The Sea Star surface-to-surface missile is an anti-ship, sea-skimming, and long-range cruise missile designed by Lignex 1, a South Korean defense manufacturer. It is used for over-the-horizon targeting and has a maximum range of 180 kilometers, equivalent to 81 nautical miles, and speed of Mach 0.85, equivalent to 1,049.6 kilometers per hour. The surface-to-surface missile are one of the primary weapons used by Jose Rizal class frigates in anti-surface warfare.
It is fully equipped with an active radar and countermeasure systems to improve the missile's efficiency and survivability. It employs an inertial navigation system and global positioning system to guide the missile based on the pre-programmed waypoints, as well as radio altimeter to maintain altitude. The warhead can destroy hostile target by high blast waves generated during explosion, fitted with an impact and penetration fuse.
The Sea Star is capable of destroying and neutralizing the enemy due to its high lethality. The Sea Star stands as a highly lethal, reliable, and versatile anti-ship missile system tailored for modern naval warfare. Its integration on the Jose Rizal class frigates elevates the Philippine Navy's offensive and defensive capabilities, granting it an effective tool to deter, neutralize, and destroy surface threats across a broad operational area. With its combination of stealth, precision, and destructive power, the Sea Star ensures that any hostile target within its range faces a formidable, near inescapable threat.
The country's Self-Reliant Defense Posture Program is an in-house defense development program aimed at bolstering the Philippines' defense capabilities, strategic autonomy, national security, and economic growth using our local resources. The Philippine Navy, through the Naval Research and Technology Development Center, continuously works on the revitalization of the SRDP program.
The Philippines saw a great leap in the SRDP program with the monumental launch of Project Buhawi, a fully automated remote weapon station equipped with a 50 caliber machine gun. Buhawi has locking and tracking capabilities that can fire single and burst shots at targets in distance up to 1,000 yards.
Signifying the onset of the SRDP program, the project's development started in 2019 by the Department of Science and Technology, Metals Industry Research and Development Center, the Department of National Defense with the Philippine Navy, and the Mechatronics and Robotics Society.
NAVSOCOM static display offers a glimpse into the specialized tools and equipment used by the Philippine Navy Special Operators. Highlights include unique firearms like the Glock 17, M4 carbine, M60 machine gun, and sniper rifle. Protective gear such as the bomb suit and deep sea diving equipment like the double tank, deco tank with specialized regulators. Featured tactical gear includes the diver's propulsion device for the SEAL's underwater mobility, the underwater breathing apparatus for extended dives and night vision goggles with the Rhino arm for low-light missions. Each item showcases the advanced capabilities essential for naval special operations. Ladies and gentlemen, let us acknowledge the presence of His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines.
He is accompanied by the Secretary, Department of National Defense,
the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the Flag Officer in Command of Philippine Navy. Please remain standing for the entry of the official party. Rear Admiral.
Philippine Navy. Armed Forces of the Philippines. Department of National Defense.
Republic of the Philippines.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, to be subsequently followed by the invocation to be delivered by the Naval Chief Chaplain, Colonel Leonidas C. Cruel Jr., Chaplain Service, General Staff Corps.
Magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, hanap ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay.
Lupang ibigay, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulukin, di ka pasisingil.
Sa dagat at tulog, sa simoy at sa langit mong lugar, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal.
Ang isla ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidingding.
Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidiin.
Tumanang araw ng buwan, ating pagsila, buhay ay ating sa ating buhay. Ang ligaya na pagmay pahami.
Mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
For prayer. Let us pray. O loving and merciful God, source of all that is good, we praise and thank you for gathering us today to witness the Philippine Navy Change of Command and Retirement Ceremony. As we thank you, O God, for the remarkable services of our outgoing Flag Officer in Command of the Philippine Navy, Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., we pray that as he relinquishes command, continue to bless and guide him in all his future endeavors. Let his guardian angels protect him and his family from physical and spiritual harm. Lord, we believe in your divine providence, that as one lives, another one comes as capable and competent as the former. Bless then the incoming Flag Officer in Command of the Philippine Navy, Rear Admiral Jose Maria Ambrosio Espeleta, with his strength and inspiration, so that the duties and responsibilities of his office will be discharged with passion, dedication, and commitment. And may his new command be an opportunity for him to assist the Commander-in-Chief Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Seated. Please be seated.
Our distinguished government officials, sailors, Marines, civilian human resource, and guests, We are gathered here this morning to witness the Philippine Navy change of command and retirement ceremony in honor of Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy, and as recognition of his 39 years, 7 months, and 14 days of faithful and honorable service to God, country, and the Filipino people. The Philippine Navy tenders this retirement ceremony as a fitting tribute to a distinguished naval officer and a gentleman.
We shall now have the presentation of award to the outgoing flag officer in command, Philippine Navy, Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr.
Chief of Presidential Protocol and Presidential Assistant on Foreign Affairs, Under Secretary Rachel P. Quinones, will now read the citation.
The citation reads as follows. Be it known to all men by these presents that I, Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., President of the Philippines, by virtue of the powers vested in me by law, in recognition of his exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service rendered in a position of major responsibility as Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, from 24 November 2022 to 15 November 2024, for steering the organization toward its vision of being a modern and multi-capable Navy by 2028, for promoting trustworthiness in government service delivery and sustaining the presence of the Philippine Navy and the Armed Forces of the Philippines in support of nation building and community development through responsible leadership and social awareness, for his demonstrated commitment to the core values of the Philippine Navy and the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and for earning the respect and admiration of the Philippine government and the Filipino people through his remarkable achievements, have caused to be inscribed in the roster of the Philippine Legion of Honor the name of Toribio Adaci Jr., Vice Admiral, Philippine Navy, with the rank of Comandante, done in the city of Manila this 15th day of November in the year of our Lord, 2024.
The audience is requested to stand for the conferment of the Philippine Legion of Honor to our awardee by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. He will be assisted by the Secretary of National Defense and the Chief of Staff Armed Forces of the Philippines with Mrs. Mercy Christine A. Adaci.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us all give a warm round of applause to our awardee, the 40th Flag Officer in Command of the Philippine Navy, Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy. Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to the change of command ceremony.
The Adjutant General, Brigadier General Bernardo R. Fortes Jr., Philippine Army, will now read the relief and designation orders.
General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. General Orders number 1781, published on 15 November 2024. Section 1, Termination, Designation of Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Officer -10087, Philippine Navy, as Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, is terminated effective 15 November 2024. Section 2, Designation, Rear Admiral Jose Ma Ambrosio Cachon Espeleta, Officer -10684, Philippine Navy, is designated as Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, effective 15 November 2024. By command of General Browner Jr., signed, Jimmy Digalit Larida, Lieutenant General, Philippine Navy Marines, the Deputy Chief of Staff. Official, Bernardo R. Fortes Jr., Brigadier General, Philippine Army, the Adjutant General.
Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy, will now read and sign his relinquishment of command orders.
Before I sign my relief and relinquishment orders, allow me first to submit my after tour of duty report to the Commander-in-Chief. Punong Himpilan, Hukbong Dagat ng Pilipinas, Office of the Flag Officer in Command, Naval Station Jose Andrada, 2335 Ross Boulevard, Manila. 15 November 2024, Office Order Number 1, Relinquishment. Pursuant to Section 1, General Orders Number 1781, General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, dated 14 November 2024, I hereby relinquish command of the Philippine Navy effective this date. And I sign in your presence.
May we request Vice Admiral Adaci to proceed to the port side of the stage. Everyone is requested to stand for the fleet testimonial salute.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just witnessed the traditional fleet farewell salute to the outgoing flag officer in command of the Philippine Navy.
Please take your seats as we witness Vice Admiral Adaci direct the Command Master Chief Petty Officer, Command Master Chief Rosimalo D. Galgao, Philippine Navy, to haul down his personal flag.
The custom of flying the personal flag at the masthead to designate the command of a flag officer is more than twice as old as the Navy, dating well back into the Middle Ages. The first known orders covering this subject in the English Navy were issued in 1530. The Admiral ought to have this order before he joins battle with the enemy, that all his ships shall bear a flag in their mizzentops, and himself, one in the foremast beside the mainmast. It is broken at the masthead at the moment he assumes command and remains there night and day to be hauled down only when he is relieved from command.
The hauling down of personal flag in the headquarters of the unit symbolizes the termination of the duties and responsibilities of the outgoing commander. This will signal the end of his authority to exercise command over the unit.
Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy, will now pronounce his readiness to relinquish his command.
Rear Admiral Jose Maria Ambrosio Espeleta, Philippine Navy, I am ready to be relieved.
The incoming flag officer in command, Philippine Navy, Rear Admiral Jose Ma Ambrosio Q. Espeleta, will now read and sign his assumption of command orders.
punong himpilang, buong dagat ng Pilipinas, Office of the Flag Officer in Command, Naval Station Jose Andrada, 2335, Roxas Boulevard, Manila. 15 November 2024, Office Order Number 2, Assumption, pursuant to Section 2, General Orders Number 1781, General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, dated 14 November 2024. I hereby assume command of the Philippine Navy effective this date, and I sign in your presence. Admiral Adaci, sir, I am now ready to relieve you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now witness the Philippine Navy change of command to be presided by the Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines.
We shall now witness the handing over of command standard to the presiding officer by Vice Admiral Adaci, symbolizing the relinquishment of his duties and responsibilities to the incoming flag officer in command. Upon receiving the standard, the presiding officer hands it over to the incoming flag officer in command, signaling the start of his assumption of duties and responsibilities.
Please remain standing for the pinning of the Flag Officer in Command Philippine Navy Badge by the Commander-in-Chief Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., to Rear Admiral Jose Ma Ambrosio Q. Espeleta, Philippine Navy. He will be assisted by Vice Admiral Adaci.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm round of applause to the 41st Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, Rear Admiral Josema Ambrosio Q. Espeleta, Philippine Navy.
Please be seated. The Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, Rear Admiral Josema Ambrosio Q. Espeleta, Philippine Navy, will now direct the Command Master Chief Petty Officer to break his flag. The breaking of personal flag symbolizes the start of his duties and responsibilities as the new Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy.
May we request the Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, Rear Admiral Josema Ambrosio Q. Espeleta, Philippine Navy, to proceed to the port side of the stage for the traditional fleet welcome salute. Everyone is requested to stand.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just witnessed the traditional fleet welcome salute to the 41st Flag Officer in Command of the Philippine Navy.
Please be seated. And now, the 41st Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, Rear Admiral Josema Ambrosio Q. Espeleta, Philippine Navy, will deliver his remarks.
The President of the Republic of the Philippines and our Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., sir. Secretary of National Defense, Secretary Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., sir. The Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Browner Jr., Philippine Army, sir. The outgoing Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., sir. Special Assistant to the President, Secretary Antonio Lagdameo, sir. Secretary of Office of the Presidential Advisor on Military and Police Affairs, Secretary Roman Felix, sir. PNP Chief PNP Police General Romel Francisco D. Marbil, sir. Commandant Philippine Coast Guard Admiral Ronnie Hill Gavan. Commanding General Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Roy Galido, Philippine Army, sir. Commanding General Philippine Air Force, Lieutenant General Stephen Pareño, sir. To our former flag officers in command of the Philippine Navy, flag officers and generals of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, members of PMA Makatao Class of '89 and PMA Sambisig Class of 1991 and their ladies, Navy's distinguished guests, sailors, Marines, enlisted personnel, civilian human resource, family and friends, ladies and gentlemen, I stand humbly before all of you this morning as I prepare to serve in my capacity as the 41st Flag Officer in Command of the Philippine Navy, a role that is for me an honor and privilege of a lifetime. First and foremost, I wish to extend my deepest gratitude to our Commander-in-Chief, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., for the trust and confidence that you have accorded to me, sir. Thank you for providing me the opportunity to continue serving our nation and the Filipino people. I also wish to extend my respect and appreciation to our Secretary of National Defense, Honorable Gilberto C. Tridor Jr., as well as our Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Browner Jr., Philippine Army, sirs, for the continued support and trust that you have accorded to me and our organization. Thank you, sirs. To our outgoing Flag Officer in Command, Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy, sir, my boundless gratitude for the confidence that you have placed in me, previously as your Chief of Naval Staff and then as your Vice Commander. I feel truly privileged to have learned under your guidance, which has inspired me to continuously strive for excellence in everything I do. Thank you very much, sir. To my parents, siblings, relatives, friends, and family, especially to my wife, Marie Venus, and my two sons, Jeffrey and Alexis, whom I draw inspiration. Thank you for the unwavering love and encouragement, for being my pillars of strength through good and challenging times. Most importantly, I wish to thank God, our great and loving Father, for the blessings that He has given to me and my family. With this new role, I will continue to follow His wisdom and direction to ensure that I remain on the path that He has laid before me and make the right decisions that honor Him above all. It is undeniable how the 21st century is emerging as a transformative maritime century. Our oceans and seas are not merely vast expanses of water, but rather trade highways, food and livelihood sources, the largest ecosystem, and the front for current and developing geopolitical dynamics. In the coming decades, developments in our oceans and seas will likely shape the course of the future global order, and more importantly, the future of our maritime and archipelagic nation. This is further compounded by our nation operating in an increasingly volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environment that is steadily transforming into a brittle, anxious, nonlinear, and incomprehensible one. We are facing challenges unlike any that we have seen in the past. Adjusting to these emerging realities has put the Philippine Navy at the forefront, necessitating the recalibration of our approach and operational tempo, embodied in our transition from an inward-looking defense posture to an outward-facing one. Such is essential because organizations, including ours, must continually grow and evolve to stay competitive and be prepared to address current and future threats, especially in our maritime security environment. In connection with this, the surge in demand and expectation for our armed forces and for the fleet and marine team is an irrefutable testament to increasing relevance and increasing role we all play in protecting and defending our nation. As such, navigating complex waters born out of the current security environment is no easy task. As the flag officer in command, I commit to working diligently to perform my mandate, lead by example, and meet the growing expectations of our people from the Navy. Guided by our vision of becoming a modern and multi-capable naval force under our Sail Plan 2028, and upholding the Philippine Navy's core values, especially honor, dedication, and patriotism. At this critical juncture, the Philippine Navy shall stay on course and strive to deliver what is expected of us. As directed by our Commander-in-Chief and aligned with policies from the Department of National Defense and higher headquarters, we shall continue to embrace and prepare for our increasing role in external defense operations, especially with the adoption of the comprehensive archipelagic concept and in tandem with the Navy's active archipelagic defense strategy. Such a reorientation also requires us to intensify our maritime security operations by strengthening our presence in our operational areas. As such, we shall continue to enhance our support to the unified commands and push for the optimum deployment of our naval assets and personnel. On the other hand, the recent signing of the Maritime Zones Act and the Philippine Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act reinforces our nation's maritime entitlements and responsibility within our maritime zones under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. More importantly, it defines the scope of the Philippine Navy's areas of responsibility and allows us to project appropriate capabilities in our exclusive economic zones, which contribute to protecting sovereignty, promoting sustainable development, and securing future prosperity. Given this development, we remain committed to modernizing our force through capability enhancement and continuous development of our bases and facilities, as well as our maritime domain awareness, which contributes to bringing a holistic defense posture to our nation. In support to this posture, we also recognize that we are facing challenges that go beyond the scope of conventional warfare, particularly asymmetric threats, cybersecurity threats, foreign malign influence, and continuous weaponization of information, which brings about fake news, misinformation, and disinformation. To navigate this landscape, we will continue developing Navy's asymmetric warfare capabilities, innovate our strategic communication, and enhance our cybersecurity capabilities. Beyond modern assets, we shall also bolster recruitment as well as enhance our recruitment policies and reserve force development as we seek to grow our dynamic organization and tap into the skills and talents of our people, especially to the younger generation who are eager to serve our nation. We shall also ensure the provisions of the appropriate learning and development opportunities, particularly education and training, in both quantity and quality across all ranks. These are crucial in building an effective workforce as we prioritize the harnessing of knowledge and skill sets of our naval personnel to ensure personnel readiness. Lastly, as aligned with our independent foreign policy, the Philippines is able to diversify and enhance our relations with traditional and newfound partners. This translates to the continuous harnessing of engagements with our naval counterparts, allowing us to use our assets, train interoperability, and put forward the importance of international law and the United Nations arbitral ruling. Looking ahead, there is much to be done. Thus, what we can do, we must do to meet the demands of the 21st century. The maritime century primarily dictated by the ebbs and flows of our oceans and seas, and where our Navy is expected to play a crucial role to create credible deterrence, especially on attempts to subvert our maritime and archipelagic nations' sovereignty, sovereign rights, and territorial integrity. Surely, There are rough seas that we may be sailing through in the future. When those moments come, it is our relentless commitment and our steadfast duty that will allow us to stay on course and remain full speed ahead. To act in concert to defend our national interest, protect our people, and safeguard our waters. Let us all work together towards the same goal. Maraming salamat po.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, Rear Admiral Jose Ma Ambrosio Q. Espeleta, Philippine Navy.
Having relieved of his duties and responsibilities by the 41st Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, we will now proceed with the retirement ceremony for Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy.
The Adjutant General, Brigadier General Bernardo R. Fortes, Jr., Philippine Army, will now read the retirement orders of Vice Admiral Adaci.
Republic of the Philippines, Department of National Defense, General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. General Orders number 917 published on 1 July 2024. Compulsory retirement pursuant to the provisions of Republic Act number 11709 as amended by Republic Act number 11939 dated 17 May 2023 in conjunction with Circular number 15 dated 3 July 2023, Section 17 of Presidential Decree number 1638 as amended and in consonance with Presidential Administrative Order number 150 dated 4 January 1993. Vice Admiral Toribio D. Adaci Jr., Officer -10087 Philippine Navy, having completed 39 years, 7 months, and 14 days of active military service in the Armed Forces of the Philippines from 1 April 1985 to 14 November 2024, is compulsorily retired in the rank of Vice Admiral, effective 15 November 2024, with retirement pay based on the salary grade of Admiral with 5th longevity pay, by order of the Secretary of National Defense, signed Romeo Saturnino Brownell Jr., Philippine Army General Chief of Staff. Official Bernardo R. Fortes Jr., Brigadier General Philippine Army, the Adjutant General.
We will now proceed with the presentation of plaques.
May we request the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Bronner Jr., Philippine Army, to present the command plaque.
In grateful acknowledgement of his eminently meritorious and valuable service rendered as Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, from 15 November 2022 to 14 November 2024, the command plaque is hereby presented to Vice Admiral Toribio D. Adaci Jr., Officer -10087, Philippine Navy. He will also present the plaque of honorable service.
Plaque of Honorable Service is presented to Vice Admiral Toribio D. Adaci Jr., Officer -10087, Philippine Navy, in recognition of his 39 years, 7 months, and 14 days of faithful and honorable service to the Armed Forces of the Philippines from 01 April 1985 to 14 November 2024.
The Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines will also present Pagpupugay sa Kawal Pilipino plaque to our honoree. The plaque of appreciation will also be presented by the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, to Mrs. Mercy Christine A. Adaci, in grateful appreciation of her unselfish, faithful and devoted support to her husband's lasting contribution and dedicated service to the Armed Forces of the Philippines and to our nation.
May we request the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., to present the medal frame to our honoree. He will be assisted by the Secretary of National Defense, Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr. Likewise, the President will present the Philippine flag as a symbol of our aspirations and existence as men and women in the noble profession of arms.
A round of applause to Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy.
Please be seated. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to finally give his valedictory address, please welcome our honoree for today's retirement ceremony, Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy.
To the President and Commander-in-Chief, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., the Secretary of National Defense, Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Bruno Jr., the 41st Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, Rear Admiral Jose Maria Ambrosio Espeleta, the Special Assistant to the President, the Honorable Antonio Ernesto Lagdameo Jr., Secretary Roman Felix, Office of the Presidential Advisor on Military and Police Affairs, my wife, Mercy Christine, and my daughter, Thea Caril, distinguished guests, sailors, Marines, and civilian human resources of the Philippine Navy, a pleasant Navy morning to all. In the weeks leading up to the culmination of my career in the service, I have been ridden with many moments of reflection and immense gratitude. To have finally arrived at this moment, I thank God for His guidance and strength throughout my career, for the grace that has carried me through every challenge, and for the wisdom He has granted in leading this great organization and serving our nation. I also extend my special thanks to our President and Commander-in-Chief, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Your trust and steadfast support have empowered us to achieve remarkable progress and set the course toward a stronger, more resilient Philippine Navy. I am also deeply grateful to my family, my wife, Mercy Christine, and daughter Thea Caril, the Adaci, Abunalya, and Dulinayan families, whose love and support have been my constant source of strength. And of course, to the honorable and dedicated men and women of the Philippine Navy, our true driving force, I extend my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to each one of you. Your hard work, sacrifices, and unwavering belief in our shared mission are the fuel that continues to propel our organization forward. Over the past 2 years, we have made significant strides in 4 key areas critical to our success as a naval force. In maritime security, we have advanced beyond routine patrols. We are now a force capable of asserting our presence with greater strategic depth and vigilance. By enhancing our surveillance systems, maintaining continuous operations, and deploying more advanced assets, we have been able to secure our maritime borders and safeguard our sovereign waters, even in the most contested areas. We have also made considerable progress in our modernization efforts. Thanks to the integration of state-of-the-art ships, missile-equipped platforms, and advanced communication systems, our fleet is now stronger, more capable, and better equipped to meet the challenges ahead. The Philippine Marine Corps has also seen significant upgrades with the acquisition of amphibious assault vehicles, enhanced coastal defense systems, and advanced weaponry, transforming them into a more agile, maneuverable force. More importantly, we have matched our recent advancements with the continuous development of our personnel to ensure that they have the skills and training needed to operate these new assets effectively. In alignment with our national security strategy, anchored in the Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept, or CADC, we have recalibrated our Active Archipelagic Defense Strategy, or AADS, refined the mission areas of our naval operating forces, and reinforced our strategic basing strategy across the archipelago. This integrated approach has expanded our reach and enhanced our operational readiness to respond effectively to any threat. The CADC has not only brought to light the complexities and challenges that we face as an archipelagic nation, but has also underscored the unique opportunities available to us. Moreover, it's reaffirmed our Navy's position as the vanguard of our seas and empowered us to rise to the occasion and fulfill this vital mission. In our maritime cooperation efforts, we have strengthened our partnerships, capabilities, and expanded our presence by building stronger ties with regional and international partners. We have fostered lasting relationships based on trust and mutual respect. Through maritime cooperative activities, goodwill visits, joint exercises, and shared initiatives with like-minded nations. These collaborations have helped us address common concerns while also allowing us to share knowledge and best practices to improve our operational readiness. Indeed, we made substantial progress in fortifying our capabilities and readiness, but there is still much to be accomplished. Our Navy remains on its course toward realizing its vision of becoming a modern and multi-capable naval force. And I believe that with every ounce of conviction under the leadership of Rear Admiral Jose Maria Ambrosio Espeleta, we will achieve it. I have witnessed our organization's strength in action, and I have no doubt that you will continue to meet whatever comes with the same determination and zeal that has driven our successes in the past. In recent years, we have had to confront unprecedented challenges, and given the current climate, it is inevitable that the volatile and ever-shifting security landscape will persist to test our Navy's resolve. Through it all, I have seen firsthand your resilience and determination to rise to every occasion, adapt, and accomplish the task at hand, no matter how unforgiving the circumstances may be. I urge you to stay committed, keep pushing the limits of what you can achieve, and trust that the future holds even greater opportunities for our Navy. As I relinquish my duties as your 40th Flag Officer in Command, I do so with pride in all that we have accomplished together, and with deep gratitude for serving alongside each of you. Again, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all personnel of the Fleet Marine Team stationed across the entire archipelago. Throughout my tenure, your hard work and resilience have carried us through. I now live knowing that the Philippine Navy will continue to rise and that you will continue to carry the torch of excellence forward, always ready to defend our seas and protect our people. To our distinguished guests and partner stakeholders, I am equally grateful for your trust and support. Thank you for standing with our Navy every step of the way. Muli, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ang hukbong dagat ng Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang ating inang bayan.
A warm round of applause to Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy. We shall now proceed to the oath-taking of service to the Philippine Navy Reserve Force of Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr. The Naval Adjutant Captain Elvira R. Gonzalez, Philippine Navy GSC, will now read the order.
Punong Himpilan, Hukbong Dagat ng Pilipinas, Headquarters, Philippine Navy, Naval Station Jose Andrada, 2335 President M. Roxas Boulevard, Manila. Pursuant to Paragraph 1, Special Orders Number 3024, published on 17 October 2024, Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Officer -10087 Philippine Navy, is incorporated in the Reserve Force, Philippine Navy Armed Forces of the Philippines, effective 15 November 2024, by command of Vice Admiral Adaci Jr., Josema Ambrosio Q. Espeleta, Rear Admiral, Philippine Navy, Acting Chief of Naval Staff. Official, signed, Elvira R. Gonzalez, Captain, Philippine Navy, General Staff Corps, the Naval Adjutant.
May we request the Commander, Naval Reserve Command, Major General Joseph Ferros S. Quezon, Philippine Navy Marines, to administer the oath-taking of Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy, to the Philippine Navy Reserve Force.
Mangyaring itaas ang kanang kamay at sumunod sa akin. Panunumpa sa katungkulan, ako si
Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr. O-10087 Philippine Navy retired.
ay hinirang bilang isang pinunong laang kawal ng hukbong sandatahan ng Pilipinas ay taimtim na nanunumpa natutuparin ko ng buong husay at katapatan sa abot ng aking kakayahan ang mga tungkulin ng aking kasalukuyang katungkulan itataguyod at ipagtatanggol ko ang saligang batas ng Pilipinas. Ako'y tunay na mananalig at tatalima rito. Ako'y susunod sa batas at sa makatarungan. At makataong utos na legal. Na pinaiiral ng mga sadyang tinakdang may kapangyarihan. Ng Republika ng Pilipinas. Kusa kong babalikatin ang pananagutang ito. Nang walang anumang pasubali o hangaring umiwas. Kasihan nawa ako ng Diyos. Babangka na kamay.
Likewise, the Commander, Naval Reserve Command, will hand over the Philippine Navy Reserve Identification Card to our honoree.
And now, the Secretary of National Defense, the Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., will now introduce our presiding officer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Thank you to our National Defense Secretary, Secretary Gilbert Teodoro Jr. Please be seated. Presidential Advisor on Military and Police Affairs, Roman Felix, and a new arrival, the Senator J.V. Ejercito, who has come to join us today. Philippine National Police Chief General Romel Marbil, immediate past Philippine Navy Flag Officer in Command, Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., the newly installed Philippine Navy Flag Officer in Command, Rear Admiral Jose Maria Ambrosio Espeleta, officers and enlisted personnel of the Philippine Navy, fellow workers in government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We gather here today to celebrate the career of Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr. as he concludes his tour of duty as the 40th Flag Officer in Command of the Philippine Navy. Let me highlight the contributions of a leader who has made a mark on everyone who had the privilege of working with him. Vice Admiral Adaci has devoted most of his life to safeguarding our nation's sovereignty and our maritime interests. He took the helm in 2022 amid a very challenging time, yet he remained driven by his resolve towards developing a modern and multi-capable naval force. His commitment, leadership, and vision has significantly strengthened our naval capabilities and enhanced our readiness to face the rapidly evolving challenges of today. He was exactly what this country needed, mild-mannered and calm, his presence of mind unshakable despite provocations and attempts to escalate tensions. It is through his leadership that we remain firm in asserting our rights in the maritime domain while keeping to our responsibility of safeguarding lives and promoting regional peace and stability. Under his command, the Philippine Navy has achieved countless milestones. I am certain that there is a long list of commendable accomplishments, but allow me to just enumerate a few. He spearheaded modernization efforts that have equipped our naval forces with advanced assets and technologies. These enhancements have bolstered our defense posture and improved our ability for humanitarian assistance and disaster response, now a critical role in our archipelagic nation. He has also championed regional cooperation and partnership by fostering ties with our allies and neighbors and by promoting collaborative efforts towards peace and stability in our maritime zones. Aside from improving operations, Vice Admiral Adaci sought to strengthen the Philippine Navy as an institution, lifting the morale of all officers, troops, and civilian personnel. He is attuned to the needs of his people. He supported their training, their growth, and welfare, ensuring that the women and men of the Philippine Navy remain professional and capable of heeding the call of duty. I also wish to extend my heartfelt appreciation to his family. They have endured the challenges that accompany the demanding nature of uniformed personnel. Their support has been instrumental in inspiring him to serve our country better. Vice Admiral Adaci, you leave behind substantial reports of your legacy. Even though not everyone will have the opportunity to read them, those words will come alive in the story shared by those who served with you. On behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your exemplary and passionate service. We wish you fair winds and following seas as you embark onto your next journey. Thus, we turn a new leaf as we welcome the new Flag Officer in Command, Vice Admiral Jose Maria Ambrosio Espeleta. Having worked with the FOIC closely, you can attest to the standard he has set for the institution. I expect the same if not greater, from your leadership. As Vice Admiral Adaci has demonstrated, your predecessors are always difficult acts to follow. But given your competence, your experience, and mental fortitude, I am confident you will continue to lead the Navy with integrity and surpass any challenges that you might confront. I look forward to working with you, and I give you my full support as you build on your legacy. Let us work together as we steer the future in the right direction for a more secure, advanced, and prosperous bagong Pilipinas. Thank you very much. Mabuhay ang hukbong dagat ng Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. May we request the President to remain on stage for the presentation of memento.
The Navy steering wheel is hereby presented to His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines, during the Philippine Navy Change of Command and Retirement Ceremony at Headquarters Philippine Navy, Naval Station Jose Andrada, 2335 Roxas Boulevard, Manila, given this 15th day of November 2024.
May we request the President to kindly grant us a photo opportunity. May we request the immediate family of Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy, to please proceed on stage. The immediate family of Rear Admiral Jose Ambrosio Q. Espeleta, Philippine Navy, please prepare. Thank you. Please exit to your right. Thank you. Please exit to your right. May we request the immediate family of Rear Admiral Jose Ambrosio Q. Espeleta, Philippine Navy, to please proceed on stage. Thank you. Please exit to your right.
May we request the Philippine Navy Board of Advisors, former flag officer in command, and major commanders to please proceed on stage. Again, we would like to request the Philippine Navy Board of Advisors, former flag officer in commands, the Commanding General Philippine Army, Commanding General Philippine Air Force, Commandant Philippine Coast Guard, and the Chief PNP to please proceed on stage.
May we request the Philippine Navy flag officers and generals with the rank of 08 and 09 to please stand by. Thank you. Thank you. Please exit to your right. Thank you. Please exit to your right.
May we request the Philippine Navy flag officers and generals with a rank of 08 to 09 to please proceed on stage.
May we request the Philippine Navy flag officers and generals with the rank of 07 to please stand by. Thank you. Thank you. Please exit to your right. May we now request all Philippine Navy flag officers and generals with the rank of 07 to please proceed on stage for a photo opportunity with our official partner. Thank you. Thank you. Please exit to your right. And thank you, Mr. President, for granting us a photo opportunity.
We shall now witness the official termination of the military service of Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy.
Vice Admiral Adaci rendered his final salute to the Commander-in-Chief Armed Forces of the Philippines. Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, for 39 years, 7 months, and 14 days, this unwavering and bold officer stood the watch. While others retreated to rest and took their nap, this sailor held the line and stood the watch. While others were training and learning their ropes, this skipper was already charting the course. For 2 years now, through calm and turbulent waters, this admiral took his steady hands and stood the watch. Many times, he would look upon the shore and see his family waiting, needing his presence, his guidance, and help. But he remained. He stood the watch. He stood the watch for 39 years. He stood the watch through trials and triumphs so that we, our families, and fellow countrymen could sleep soundly in safety each and every night, knowing that a reliable leader stood the watch. Today, we are all gathered to say, Admiral, your watch stands relieved. Relieved by those you have trained, guided, and inspired. Admiral, your watch stands relieved. We have the con.
The Philippine Navy now renders sideboy honors to Vice Admiral Toribio Adaci Jr., Philippine Navy.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we bring to a close this morning's ceremony. On behalf of the Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, Rear Admiral Jose Ma Ambrosio Q. Espeleta of Philippine Navy, we would like to extend our sincerest gratitude to each one of you for gracing this occasion. Muli, maraming salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat. This is your Philippine Navy, protecting the seas, securing our future.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the President